Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first VALPRO Path podcast. My name is Tamara Trninić. I'm from Foodscale Hub. Foodscale Hub leads dissemination, communication, and exploitation activities. This episode, along with the upcoming ones, will take a deep dive into the European plant protein landscape. We will also discuss VALPRO Path project and its significance. And today we have two special guests. We are very honored to have them here, Dr. Ewen Mullins, the coordinator of the VALPRO Path project from Teagasc, and Milena Corredig from Aarhus University. She's the work package leader to two prominent figures in the plant protein research and innovation. We're going to discuss the latest trends and, of course, the VALPRO Path project. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. We are honored to have you here. Ewen, in light of the 2022 Food and Agriculture Organization report, we've seen a noticeable shift towards a plant protein-based diets. Can you share some of the noteworthy trends and something that you observed recently?
Sure, so absolutely. Trends are shifting, and they have been shifting for several years, and that's been captured well in the report. What we see is that there's consumers want to know more about plant protein. They want more plant protein in their diets, but there's also a lot of unknowns out there in terms of the production challenges for farmers, the processing. There's also, as Milena will be able to give much more detail than I would, in terms of the food processing challenges, in terms of the sensory and also behavioural attitudes towards it. But it's clear that we know crops that are used for the production of plant protein for food can bring huge benefits to farmers' production systems in terms of biodiversity, fixing nitrogen, greater soil profiling as well. So overall, they can give plant protein crops themselves can give an awful lot to the whole system.
Milena, as Ewen said, you're an expert in food processing. What trends have you noticed there? And if you, of course, have anything to add?
Well, I think we need to focus on minimizing processing and maximizing nutritional value, and of course, making the food taste good. But when you change an ingredient, it's not just straightforward that you can say, okay, I'm using the same machines, the same processes, and everything is just going to be consistently the same all the time. So just imagine, we had a meeting today and we were talking about milling and how milling can be different if you're milling pea versus you're milling wheat. So, there's huge investments and economies of scales that we have to study. And when you have investments, you have people that are unsure, and you have to de-risk their ability to invest, so that, and that's where science and research has to come in, and that is what our project is about.
So you talked about the lack of awareness, maybe, but we are so happy we can raise that awareness with this podcast. Ewen, when you started crafting the VALPRO Path project, of course, with all partners and with the whole consortia, what was like the primary objective of the project, and which crops are in focus?
So it's very straightforward, very simple. It's built around added value. Can we deliver added value to the primary producer, the farmer, but also to processors, to meet the demands and the needs of consumers and society's environmental targets and concerns, right? So it's about the right crop grown in the right place for the right market. It's very simple when you break it down like that.
That's like magic formula for enhancing plant protein production.
Exactly, yeah. And at the moment, what we see in Europe is we have obviously, thousands of hectares of plant protein being grown, primarily for animal food consumption, which is meeting a strong market there. But that added premium potential is not being realized for farmers because of it's just not making it into the food industry as much as it should. And the irony of it is that we have food processors seeking regionally produced plant protein, maybe unsure where it is, where to source it, and yet we have farmers who are growing it, maybe not fully aware of this alternative high premium potential market that's there. And that's really what VALPRO is about. It's about getting those networks together, the connections together. We're very fortunate with the partners. We have experts like Milena and colleagues, but we also have industry partners, the processors. And that's really key, because they had our meeting here in the last 2 days. They were asking us the question very often. They would say, so what? And that brings things back to the focus very quickly, which is always what's needed for an innovation action like this.
And we need to mention the crops in focus.
The crops, depends on the region, but the primary crops are faba bean, lupin, pea, lentil, chickpea and soya are the main ones at the moment, both in conventional and certain organic systems as well.
Milena, you can shed light on your extensive experience in this field, but also you already mentioned something, but you can tell more about the role of Aarhus University, where you work as a researcher, and how will the university contribute to the project, and what will be the first steps exactly?
Aarhus University is a key partner in this project, is one of the academic partners. And so we are obviously knowledge providers. And what we bring in is all our experience. And I have amazing colleagues actually in this journey with me, from the production side, from the field and the living labs, all the way to what we can demonstrate in a pilot plant, and which kind of analytical facilities we can provide, so that we can do amino acid analysis, or looking at anti-nutritional components, or the fate of some of these nutritional benefits over the process and over the digestion of the product. So all of this is extremely important, so that our industrial partner can ask us, this is my unknown, and can you provide us with the information? So in all, I think that we're just one of the academic partners in this in this project, and European projects are amazing this way, because you really bring in a lot of expertise from everywhere in the country, and it is possible to also kind of challenge each other in things like, well, but this is a very Nordic view, or this is a very Southern view. So I think it's a very important thing to have many different academic partners.
We are changing the world one project at a time. Like you would.
And there's also, I suppose, just to add to that, what we've learned in the last 2 days is there are solutions to problems all over Europe, but we're looking in one direction. And, the solution might be in the north, it could be down the Mediterranean, and we're seeing that from the conversations we're having in our living labs. And that's actually really encouraging, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to listen and engage and network.
Yeah, I find the best direction. Like Ewen, Milena mentioned nutritional benefits, but we also hear a lot about environmental benefits and sustainability aspects when it comes to plant protein production. And we always have to put that kind reminders. Like, could you share and elaborate why these aspects are so important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we only have to see in Europe in the last couple of years the volatility in our climate. Climate change is happening, it's happening every year, and it's change, and I suppose it's that unpredictability in the climate is what increases the risks for the farmers. So when you think about it, farmers are investing thousands of euro to plant a crop in early spring, and they don't really know what they're going to be harvesting as they head into the autumn. Okay, so there's a huge risk there. So to mitigate risk, you have to diversify. And diversification comes with a greater range of crops to put in the ground. And in terms of these, the plant protein crops, the legumes such as soya, pea, faba, and lupin, they have this fantastic ability to fix nitrogen from the air. So that means that they're actually generating their own fertilizer into the soil, which means the farmer doesn't have to put on as much fertilizer, doesn't have to put on nitrogen. That has benefits. There's no risk of runoff into waterways. And so in terms of ticking the box of sustainability, it's ticked with a massive black mark, or a big black mark, because it's really good in terms of the environmental benefit that's coming from these crops. That obviously is beginning to address societal concerns. Okay, and it's not just society and consumers, but it's also for the processors, the large industries that are processing plant material into food products, because they are very conscious that profitability is absolutely essential for the farmer. We have to be clear, if a farmer isn't making money, it's not going to work. but everybody in that value chain is focused on environmental sustainability and social sustainability.
And we are very happy that all stakeholders of the VALPRO Path project will actually have benefits from the project, and that we hope that the project will have impact in all the important aspects that you mentioned. Milena, do you have anything to add as a concluding thought or perspective?
Well, we have great ambitions for this project. And we really hope that we will be able to make an impact into our society. We are here and we love to do research and we love to do innovation. But of course, we want to make sure that this project ends up to be good for our European society.
Yes, we certainly hope it will. Thank you very much for this amazing discussion. Dear audience, thank you very much for watching the VALPRO Path podcast. See you soon. Keep an eye on our social media channels and YouTube channel, because we soon have episode number 2 coming up. It's about our innovation production systems within the VALPRO Path project. Very important part as living labs of the project. So stay tuned. And of course, if you have any idea or a suggestion for a topic, or you have some topic that you would like us to discuss, please feel free to suggest and write to us on our social media channels.